What is up, bros? Me, Josh here, bringing you a quick review over the Prinz Eugen, the upcoming Tier 8 German cruiser. Now, this is going to be the first high-tier German cruiser premium that is coming to World of Warships, so that's pretty exciting, as well as it's lining up with the German battleship line, as well as if you're going up the German cruiser line. This is going to be a great ship. Now, we did have the Emden before, but this is kind of the first high one, so if you didn't have the, let's say, the Scharnhorst that just came out, or the Tirpitz to kind of level up your German captain, this could be a fantastic ship to do it. This is a Hipper class, so that's really exciting. It's almost identical to the ship itself, just with some small changes. But let's dive into the ship. The ship is rocking 45,000 life. Armor is 20 to 80 millimeters, and the front and after ends are 25 to 70%. Gun casement 25, armor deck 25 to 30 millimeters. Torpedo protection at 13%. That's a bit higher than the 10% that's on the Hipper. Main battery rocking 4x2s, 203s. These things hit crazy hard with AP. The German line is known for its AP. That's also good and bad for the ship, if you really think about it, with how kind of the HE mechanic is working with the ship. Reload time of 13 seconds, 180-degree turn time of 22.5 seconds, max dispersion of 143 meters, with a 13% chance of fire at 2,500 damage, and 5,900 damage for the AP shells. I mean, this thing can just absolutely murder broadside battleships, murder cruisers. Firing range of 17.5 kilometers, so this is the tad under the actual Hipper, that is the Tier 8 line ship, and both AP and HE velocities of 925 meters per second. Now, secondary armaments, they're not too bad. I mean, it's a cruiser, so you don't want to really get too close to stuff, but it could help you against some destroyers. Maybe if you're getting, if you're top tier, you're going to get some lower stuff. But 4.7 kilometers, that is without, I'm not rocking the captain, just so it's easier to compare with the Hipper. The secondaries are definitely there, but main bat of 17.5. That's pretty good, but it's surprising that it's actually lower than the actual Hipper. The Hipper, I think, is 17.7, so it's kind of weird that that is lower. It's the premium ship. I thought it would be maybe a little bit better, but hey, let's keep going. So torpedoes, 4 sets of 3, 6 kilometers. The torpedoes actually hit pretty hard at the 13,700 damage. But the 6 kilometers, it's pretty basic. It's kind of like a last resort almost. Maybe if you're charging a battleship going in for it, you can definitely deal it, especially with the 2 sets on each side, with a pretty freaking good torpedo launching area. So you can actually get a pretty aggressive line on them. AA is actually a bit lower than the Hipper as well. Rocking with the about a 4.5 kilometers, so you're going to be up about 5.3. Now it's rocking about, this is without a captain, of course, and not really spec'd into it, so you're rocking a almost 57. The Hipper actually has a 58, so it's a bit less. I think you have a couple less. What is it? I think at the 20 millimeter guns, you have a few less. Just double check that. Yeah, you actually have less of the big guns. So I guess that's, or I guess it's the smaller guns. So I guess it's okay. Like I said, it's another part of this ship, and I'm kind of going to go through the ship and then kind of come back to this, but there's a couple of these things that you look at it, and this is the premium ship, and it's just a bit weaker when you kind of look at this stuff, and it kind of makes me question, I guess, the premium, if it's worth buying the ship. But the AA is still good. It was shooting down plenty of planes, but like I said, it's a bit lower than the actual line. Max speed of 32 knots, that's right there with the Hipper. Turning circle, this is one thing that it has on it. Since it is a longer ship, it takes longer to turn, but it does have a much faster rudder shift time. Detectability is 13 kilometers with 8.4 from the sky. Now that's actually a lot lower, or a lot higher than the Hipper. The Hipper is 12.4 from sea, so it's 0.6 more, which is kind of interesting, and 8.1 from the sky for the Hipper. So relatively higher, I don't know, relatively higher detectability. So I thought that was kind of weird. For captain skills, or for upgrades, let me go to those first. I was running main armament 1, kind of the normal cruiser setup. Main armament 1 helps with torpedoes, help with the main bat. Aiming system mod 1, now it does help with secondaries, and of course the main bat with that. Damage control system, turning radius, and then of course I run almost on everything, concealment expert. So this ship as a Tier 8 premium, I do like. It's the first one for the German line, a high tier. Now it's going against the Kutuzov and the Itago. Now I was having relatively good success with this because it's a Hipper, and that's kind of the up and down side of this ship in my opinion. I was absolutely wrecking stuff that was broadside, and that's stuff was angled away like a high tier. If you weren't hitting that superstructure, you weren't doing much damage. So that's kind of the good and bad part about the Hipper class in the German line. It's so dependent really on its damage from AP that its HE chance isn't really that good. Like I don't. It'll be in my opinion, it'll be a distant third when it comes to tier 8 premium cruisers behind the Atago and Kutuzov because of just how the HE is played currently. And it kind of makes you think if this ship is honestly worth it. Now, this ship has a ton of historical background to it, and I know this is going to be a massive naval history buff ship. You know, it's got a ton of history, and it's really cool, especially if you like the German line and like the history behind the German line. And this is one ship that you really want. This is like the perfect ship for history buffs and people who want to get maybe their first German premium that will help them with their cruiser line and their battleship line. But the ship itself is good, but it's good because it's a Hipper. And like I don't want to talk too bad about the ship, but I don't know. When you buy the Atago, you're buying something special. When you're buying the Kutuzov, you're buying something special. When you're buying the Bliss, when you're buying the Dunkirk, when you're buying all these different premiums, you're buying them because there's something special. When I was playing this ship, it wasn't a ship that I personally, because I've basically played almost every ship in this game now. I wasn't really like wanting to go back to it because I've already played this ship. I've played the Hipper. It's literally a copy paste of a Hipper. It's actually worse than the Hipper if you really think about it. It doesn't shoot as far. It's not. It has a lower detection. Well, it has I guess technically a higher detection. You can see it easier. It has worse AA. It has more life. It has more torpedo protection, and it has a faster rudder shift. But other than that, it's worse in so many ways than a ship that's currently in the line. And I know that's kind of how premiums are kind of supposed to be. You know, they're not supposed to be this, you know, pay-to-win kind of ship that we have seen, especially in the past with stuff like the Atago, stuff like the Bliss, and where you actually are buying ships that are better than the line. But I feel like that's something that a lot of World of Warship players have kind of gotten used to. And, you know, is it a good ship? Yeah, it's a good ship because it's exactly what's already in the game. So if it's a ship that you would like for, you know, I don't know, playing it and then having it just to have, then that's one thing. But is this ship going to be worth the money because of the ship? I don't think so, because it's already a tier 8 cruiser that's in the game. It's literally a worse version of the Hipper. And like I said, I don't want to talk too bad about the ship because it's a good ship. It's an amazing ship. This thing will absolutely crush it. Like, if you've never played the German cruiser line, it absolutely punishes stuff with its AP. I mean, I wrecked one cruiser for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 Citadels or something like that, broadside, and put like 16k into them. You can wreck battleships for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10k salvos, monster salvos, and just absolutely punish them. And like, so it's a good ship. It's a fantastic ship. But so's the Hipper, and the Hipper's already in the game, and you don't have to pay for the Hipper if you've already played, you know, the line. You don't. I mean, it's not going to cost you anything. It's just going to cost you, you know, your time to, I guess, grind up through the line. But like I said, if this is your first ship and you want to buy a premium, like if somebody says, "Hey, what's a good one to start out with, or what's a good one for a moneymaker?" I don't even know if this would be in the top 5 premiums I would recommend for people. So, like I said, this isn't like a roast of this ship. It's a great ship, but it's a great ship because it's an Admiral Hipper, the tier 8 premium tree ship for the German cruisers. So I like playing the ship. It was a lot of fun. I think, you know, it runs into the same problems in the Hipper. It does really good when stuff is showing broadside and decent angles, and then it has kind of a downside when you kind of have to switch to HG for those unfavorable angles. But I mean, it's a monster. It's going to do well. If you do buy it, it's a fantastic ship. Like I said, I'm not trying to bash it too much. I'm just saying that this is kind of the first ship since we've seen like the Kamikaze, the Fujin, those being almost identical to the Minakaze. This is kind of the first one we've really seen that's literally the same thing or very, 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 very similar to something that's already in the game. You know, we've seen a lot of premiums, but they've all really been different. And this is kind of the first one that's kind of almost the reskin. And like I said, history buffs are going to love this. People that are looking for a high-tier German... I mean, if you love the Admiral Hipper and you want a premium... I mean, this is an Admiral Hipper working, getting you more credits, more experience. I mean, I mean, looking different, looking cooler. I mean, this is that ship for you. But is it worth? I mean, the Otago's $45. This is going to be somewhere relatively close, 35 maybe, right around there, because it's not going to be as good, of course. Um, it's a ship it's gonna be hard for me to recommend people picking up because it's literally already in the game. This thing isn't bringing anything, crazy. It's not bringing like a radar. It's not bringing a heal. It's it's literally a hipper, and that's not a bad thing. It's just it's a good ship, but is it worth buying as a premium? I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, this is kind of just my thoughts on it, guys. Like I said, it's a good ship. You're going to do well on it if you do buy it. You're going to have fun in it. You're going to get a ton of experience, and you're going to be able to, get your secondary captain for the Bismarck quicker, a 15-point captain for your Hindenburg quicker, what have you. It's going to be an awesome ship, and you're going to do well on it. It's a really, really good ship. I just wish this one was a bit different than what was already in the game. And that's just, to me, that in my opinion, that's the downside. But all in all, guys, that's my thoughts on the ship. Like I said, it's a great ship. I just don't know if it's going to be worth the price because of what you're actually getting. Like I said, if you like the history of German battleship or German cruisers and the Prinz Eugen and specifically, then this is a fantastic ship. Pick it up, have fun on it, enjoy it, play it, have fun. Really, that's what it's all about, guys. But that's just my thoughts, guys, and that is my review on the Prinz Eugen. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions or thoughts on the ship, let me know in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.
Hey guys, this is Biddy here,
Want to say anything else?
and we're gonna review the Prinz Eugen.
Nice.
Off to you, Josh.
Dude, should I have that be the intro?
Do what you want.